Hello, hello. Happy Sunday evening. This is Melissa with Origins of Peace, and I hope you are doing fantastic. So, we are here. It's already 3 weeks that we've been having our intention setting sessions, 30 minutes to strategize the week ahead on Sunday evenings. And I don't know about you, but I've been enjoying this so far. I've been able to make a weekly strategy to help me progress into the week going forward. And it's been very helpful to be mindful and intentional about setting this time. So, hey, if this is your first week joining us, this is Melissa. My company is Origins of Peace. This is a coaching and consulting company where I focus on conflict resolution. And the purpose of these Sunday intentional sessions is to help you move forward through the week with grace, with ease, with flow, and most of all, with peace on how to react when things come up at work unexpectedly, when you deal with microaggressions or challenges that may have taken you off guard or caught you when you weren't prepared on how to really respond with intention the week before. Or, hey, maybe you showed up this week at work and you were really exhausted and tired. Your energy was depleted and you were just completely drained. And you want to avoid that going into the new work week. So, what we do is for 30 minutes, we take this time to intentionally state what we want to experience in the coming week. We reflect on activities that happened in the past week and we glean those lessons that we can learn from how we responded. And then hopefully moving forward, if we weren't happy with that response, then we create a strategy on how to respond better and how to be intentional going forward. Okay. So this is week 3, and I want to say thank you, thank you, thank you for joining. There's been so many people that have caught the replay video, and I'm just thankful that you are tuned in. And I am so glad that this is actually being beneficial for you. So before we dive into this week's session, last week we ended with a stretch goal, and that stretch goal was for you to do something creative during the week. So I hope you had an opportunity to do that. I had several occasions because my company is based on creative activities. I have a segment of my business where I create flower pots, and I had an opportunity to start prepping some of those for an event that I have coming up in September. But in order to get ahead of the game and stay on track and meet my deadline, I went ahead and started prepping some of those. So I was very intentional about that. So that was one of my creative activities. Another thing that I did was I attended a hat and tea brunch sponsored by the Queen City Women in Business. Let me say that is an excellent organization. If you are not a member, send me a message and let me tell you how to become a member, because that organization is just full of community, it's full of support and encouragement, full of love. And it's definitely somewhere that you want to be if you are a business owner in the Charlotte metro area, in Indiana, or in Atlanta. And matter of fact, if you're anywhere within the United States, just send me a message and let's just talk and get plugged in, and we'll see exactly how you can benefit from some of the services now and find out what Queen City Women in Business is all about, because that is definitely where it's at. Okay. So this week we are focusing on mental and physical exhaustion, right? I know last week we started touching on it a bit, but I wanted to dive in it more this week because we really haven't spent a lot of time on that. And one of the challenges that professional women face is that sometimes we show up. Now, we're always going to show up, but sometimes we don't show up as our full and complete self because we have extended our energy in so many other areas where we are tired, we are exhausted, we are stressed, we are overwhelmed, and we are pouring from an empty cup, right? So the name of the game is to not be so physically and mentally depleted that you are trying to pour from an empty cup. Okay. So let's start off this week with a quote. And the quote is, to be mentally tired is to be deprived of dreams and drowned in thoughts. Mm. Now, that's a deep one. To be mentally tired is to be deprived of dreams and drowned in thoughts. Have you ever just thought to yourself, now think about that. Have you ever thought to yourself that, man, I think too much? I'm always thinking about something. I always got something on my mind. I'm always trying to figure something out. I'm always trying to, connect A and B and Z, always trying to think of, a plan to collaborate, to market my business, to, excel at work, to make the family life a little bit smoother. Always thinking about something. Seems like there's always something to be thinking about. And this quote says, you know what? To be mentally tired is you're no longer dreaming. You're no longer imagining the greatness and the brilliance of what a thing can be, but you are drowning in the thought of what it is or what's happening or what's going on. So that's food to think. That's food for thought. That's something definitely to consider as we go through this coming week. So, okay. As we continue, I just wanted to make sure that I made you aware of what it means to me mentally tired. And I'll tell you, I was there this week. Around about Wednesday evening, I found myself being totally exhausted, mentally and physically. And I still had some events that I had to do on Thursday. But by the time Thursday afternoon came, I had to shut it down because the past couple of weeks have really been busy for me and in my business. And sometimes, even you're busy, you're doing things, you're making things happen, you're accomplishing your goals, you're striving, you're doing all those things. But sometimes when things don't work out as you hope they would or as you had planned for them to, that can be taxing as well. Because again, you go back to thinking the thoughts of what could be, what should be, how did it not connect? How did this not happen? How did this opportunity not come my way? There's just always something to think about. And that can just leave you in a state of just feeling overwhelmed and feeling like, you know what? I want to continue doing more, striving more, trying more, doing more, but I physically can't. I mentally don't have the space to think about anything else right now. I can't do it, right? Have you ever felt that way? Because honestly, I did last week. Like I said, by the time Thursday rolled around, I was just so exhausted from just going. I think I had worked like 3 weekends straight, trying to meet certain deadlines and get some things done. And it just finally caught up to me. And I had to miss some things this weekend, actually from Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. There were some things that I had planned to do that I physically was unable to do because I was tired and I needed a break. So as you can see, I took some time to relax. I took some time to unwind. I watched some good TV. I know we talked last week. I think I mentioned, what was it? Fire Country, that had me all caught up in the series. Well, this weekend I found Tracker. Have you ever seen Tracker? Because Tracker is about this guy that goes and looks for people that are missing. He's has a good heart because he will put himself in danger to go find these people who are missing. He does some phenomenal things too. But the thing about Tracker and the thing about every single episode is it's only been one season, but there's like 13 episodes. But that man is going to get paid in every one of those episodes. So you see him at the end getting his check, or what about the payment? Or well, here's your payment, and he'll take that payment. Thank you. So no matter, it taught me a good lesson, because no matter how big your heart is or how much you want to serve and how much you just love doing the right thing, if it's your job, make sure that you make room to get paid at the end. So I'm gonna stick with that series because I like it. And I mean, this man was like um, parachuting out of airplanes, going to find people that were missing. But at the end of the day, that man got his check. So I admire that. I really appreciate that. So let's go ahead and dive into our reflection question. So let's take a reflective look on things that happened last week. You know, what caught us off guard? You know, what happened where we weren't quite at the top of our game and maybe we responded in a way that we didn't want to, or, you know, maybe somebody made a comment or said something out of the way. And, you know, maybe we let it slide when normally we wouldn't have let it slide, but we were just kind of caught off guard. So just take a minute, grab your pen, grab your journal, and just think about situations that happened last week. So I have my journal here, I have my pen handy, and I've already wrote down some things that occurred. Yeah, I don't know if you can see my page, but it is quite full. I wrote down some things that occurred. So just take a minute to write down what happened last week. What situations came up for you? So I will say for me, and it wasn't really anything that was like, you know, shady or like, you know, like an underhanded thing. It wasn't anything like that. But what happened for me is that an event that I had been looking forward to all year, like since early in 2024, it was planned earlier in the year and then it got postponed until this past weekend. And I have been looking forward to going. But like I told you earlier, everything kind of caught up to me and I wasn't able to go. And that really hit me hard because it was somewhere that I really wanted to be. Like the lady who operates this organization, she has been very supportive of my business. She has been just, you know, a godsend in certain areas for me. And I really wanted to be there for her, to volunteer at this event, to show up, to put my effort, my time, energy, and attention into this event and just show her how grateful I am for her presence, you know, in my business. But I was unable to. I was physically unable to move. And when I tell you that I couldn't, I couldn't. And it really made me feel, I feel bad that I wasn't able to show up. So that situation arose for me. So when I think about that, I think, Melissa, how did you get yourself in that situation where you weren't able to show up? And then I think about all the events that led up to it. So, like I said earlier, I worked straight through consecutively for the past 3 weeks and for the past 3 weekends. So that means there was no break, there were no days off. And being a business owner, you know, sometimes you just don't, when you're still in the building and the scaling stages, sometimes it's just simply not an 8-hour day. You might be burning 12 and 14 hours trying to get things done, you know, trying to check things off your to-do list, trying to make it happen. So I am one of those people who, when I'm in the middle of it and I'm in the midst of it, getting things done, I'm sticking with it until I can get to a certain point. So some of those days were 10, 12, and 14 hours long. And then doing it for so many days consecutively without stopping or taking a break. Or even if I did stop for a minute, you know, go handle something, then I would come right back to it. So like my mind had just been consistently on work, on presentations, on deadlines, on things that needed to be done. And I had not given myself the grace in order to make room to show up for that event that I needed to show up for this past weekend. So that was really something that, you know, reflecting back, I'm like, oh, what could I have done differently to make sure that I was equipped and prepared and rested and in the right frame of mind to show up? So that situation arose for me last week. So what came up for you? What situations came up for you where you weren't able to show up as your best self, or where you did not respond as well as you would have liked to? So think about that. And then the next question is, what were you doing, or what were you attempting to do? I was attempting, by showing up in this to this event, I was attempting to show my gratitude. I was attempting to be of service. I was attempting to immerse myself more within the community and do more community events and collaborate with other organizations. So that's what I attempted to do, but I was unable to do that. What were you attempting to do? And how did it turn out for you? So I want you to write that down. What was the situation? What was your goal? What were you attempting to do? What were the results? And are you satisfied with the outcome? So for me, reflecting on all of that, no, I wasn't satisfied with the outcome. I was not. So taking all of those things into account, my focus needs to be on jotting down what happened, which means that I worked too much leading up to the event. I didn't allow myself time to rest adequately to prepare mentally and physically for the event. Um, my body came to a point where it was like, no, there's nothing else that you can do. There's nothing else for you to give. Ma'am, you're going to have to lay right here and recoup, recover, get yourself together before you can do anything else. And that's all I could do. So the results were that I was not able to show up where I wanted to. I wasn't able to collaborate how I wanted to. Now, I was able to make a donation, but physically, being there physically would have been different. And I wasn't able to do that. So the plan that I need to be making, from gleaning those things from that situation, the plan that I need to make and put in my portfolio for going forward is, Melissa, you exceeded your capacity. You could see you overexerted yourself and you weren't able to do anymore. So you need to know when to say no. You need to know when to stop. And the mechanisms that you're currently using that tells you to stop work, stop taking on new things, those aren't working. So what else can you do, Melissa? What else can you do? That has to become part of my new strategy. Okay. So that is our reflective part. So now we want to move into our intentions for next week. And this is where you can be completely honest with yourself so that you can create a plan that is true, that is transparent, that is authentic for you going forward. And the question is, what do you desire for the week coming ahead? What do you desire? So take a minute and write that down. What do you desire? What do you want? What do you want to accomplish? What do you want to achieve? How do you want to present yourself? What is it that you desire? And I want you to really be honest and true and write that down in your journal. And then I want you to ask yourself now, are you mentally, emotionally, and physically prepared to get it? Simple yes or no. If I would have had to answer this question yesterday or Friday or even Thursday evening, the answer would have been no, because I was in no shape to move forward in any manner. But because I came to a point where I had to sit down, where I had to rest, I had to unplug, I had to actually do just nothing. I had to mindfully do nothing in order to recuperate and get back to a point where my energy was replenished. So now I can answer yes. Going into this new week, I am refreshed and I am ready to go forward and go after the things that I desire for this work week ahead. So the next question is, do you feel inspired and empowered to achieve your goals this week? I do. I really do. So what are the goals that you have for this week? Let me tell you. So while I was mindfully doing nothing, I also had on my mind that, I had to come up with a plan to, because if you remember last week, I told you that I had some challenges with my calendar and overlooking things and, overcommitting, having conflicting appointments on the calendar. So I found this app. It's called Structure or Structured, whatever one it is, but it allows you to integrate all of your calendars into one app. So there's a free version and there's an upgraded version. So I wasn't even going to play around with the free version because, hey, my life is a bit more complex than that. So the paid version is only like $14.99 a year. So I went ahead and did that. But you get like a 3-day trial window where you can test it out and see how it's going. But let me tell you, I have all of my activities um, in here from all my calendars. I have four calendars. Four. But this app allows me to put everything here in one location where I can have it on my phone, and I don't have to like, okay, what's on one calendar, what's on the other calendar, did I account for this? And I already caught one because I almost commit. Well, I did commit. I ain't gonna lie. I committed. I said yes to an activity that's happening on the 24th because I didn't see anything on my calendar. But for some reason, I was like, it feels like I have something scheduled already for the morning of the 24th. And then I found it. It came up in an email or social media reminder or something. So I was able to go back and cancel that and say no, because I have already committed to being, in a different place on next Saturday, the 24th. So get this app if you need some help managing your calendars, merging everything together to help you stay on track, to help you stay on point, and to help you to not overcommit and overwork and stress yourself out. Because it's things like that, little apps, little tools, just little techniques that we need to help us empower our week going forward. So yes, I feel empowered. I feel inspired to achieve my goals this week. The next question is, are you well rested? I am. And I'm going to tell you, because I've been resting since Thursday night. I am well rested at this particular point. The next question is, what can you do now to prepare for next week? So whenever we get off this phone, off of this call, I'm going to go ahead and meal prep for the next 3 days. I can only meal prep for 3 days at a time. I can't do it past that. But I'm going to meal prep to make sure that I already have that, my breakfast. Well, I don't eat breakfast. I don't eat until noon, but I want to make sure that I have my lunch and my dinner on hand already, made and prepared, so that all I got to do is reach in the refrigerator and stick it in the microwave and warm it up. And then I have a protein shake for dinner. So that will help me get back on track with my nutrition plan and making sure that I am eating properly. But that will also help me manage my time wisely, because I have, as usual, a lot of things happening this week. But the point is, I want to be strategically prepared going into this week to handle those things and not let anything sneak up on me and not be prepared or caught off guard when it happens. Then the last question is, can you plan for at least 30 minutes of exercise daily? Yes, finally I can. And I'm going to be real transparent with you. I have been dealing with an Achilles injury for seems like forever and 1,200 days. And it has really been aggravating. I was back on my exercise routine. And then about a month ago, I had an event in the park, which involved a lot of walking and moving and just doing all the things. And it took me off my game again. I've been dealing with pain again and trying to get it under control. But I finally feel that I am at a point where I can start incorporating exercise back into my routine. And I am going to do that for at least 30 minutes each day. Now, I'm a big fan of walking. I love walking outside through my neighborhood. I love jumping on my Peloton and getting that treadmill exercise in. But I know that is not the best thing for an Achilles injury. So I'm going to have to incorporate different activities, a nice stretch routine, some Pilates, some yoga, some something. I got a bike. I can get on the bike too. Something other than the treadmill um, is what it'll have to be if I want to remain consistent. But I do understand that consistent 30 minutes is what will help me reduce stress, manage my time better, and actually feel good about, you know, working and, staying active and alert and on task. So that exercise is very important. Okay. So if you watch this replay and you have any questions or you have any thoughts about anything that was shared today, shoot me a message. All you have to do is email support@originsofpeace.com. Let me know what's on your mind. If there's something that you would like for me to discuss during these intention setting sessions, let me know. I'll be happy to do that as well. And last week, I did start the activity of um, supplying you with a stretch goal. So we're going to do that again. We're going to pull a card and we're going to pull it from the mindfulness section of the deck because I like that. So your stretch goal for the week is to set a positive intention for each day. So what is one positive intention that you can set for each day of the week? And you can start on this tomorrow because I know after this, you'll need a few minutes to create your plan and strategically plan out how you're going to go out through this week, but make sure that you include at least one positive intention for each day. Okay. So whether that is to bless somebody or to be a blessing to yourself, whatever the positivity is that you need, just make sure that you allow time for that to be done. So I think that's all that I have for right now. I did want to remind you that my book, From God with Love, is on sale now. You can get that on my website at www.originsofpeace.com. You get the ebook and the physical book all in a bundle package. If you're local in the Charlotte area, you can purchase the bundle that includes the release party. I would love to have you show up and support. I am looking for those first 100 people to help support their book and be those first 100 charter members to grab that copy. So get in. I would love your support. And I have an event coming up on September 6th at 11 a.m. You can get tickets on Eventbrite. Just search for Origins of Peace. The name of the event is From Structure to Spark, Ignite Creativity at Work. So I am giving you practical tips on how to show up as your whole and complete self at work. Bring all that creativity, that magic that you have, bring it all with you into that corporate arena where you may not be in a role that, is really a creative role, doesn't allow you to have a lot of movement and freedom. But by bringing your authentic self into that role, then you show up better, you produce better work, and you are just overall a better employee, a better teammate. So join me for that. It'll be during the lunch hour on September 6th from 11 a.m. to 12 p.m. And it's called From Structure to Spark, Ignite Creativity at Work. I would love to see you there. The link is on Eventbrite. All right. And if you have any questions about anything, or if you would like for me to send you the link, just email me at support@originsofpeace.com. Okay. That is our time. We are right here at 7. We probably got a few seconds left, but it's 7:29. And I do want to respect your time and keep it within 30 minutes. So I hope you have a wonderful Sunday evening. I thank you for joining. I thank you for catching the replay. And wherever you see this, on Facebook, YouTube, or LinkedIn, just use the hashtag replay and let me know that you watched. And let me know what you think, okay? So have a fabulous week on purpose, and I will see you back here next Sunday evening at 7 p.m. Peace.